displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the park's professor. 10th hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This is a short hole, but it plays steeply uphill. It's one of the most uphill holes on this course. There are two baskets on this hole. There's a basket off to the right, which we'll peek at momentarily, but we're going to walk over to the basket to the left because this one's a little harder to access. I do want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the park's professor. Here's the 10th basket, and here's the view back downhill to the tee from behind the basket. The 11th hole is gradually uphill, but not nearly as steep as the previous hole. This hole also heads into a pine planting where we're going to stay for a few holes. Most holes on this course have only one basket, but this hole also has two baskets, like the previous hole. You'll see the short basket up here just to the right, but we're going to walk back to the long basket. The short basket is in a fairly open area, but the long basket is quite challenging. It's in this really tight area surrounded by these pine trees. There is the long basket on the 11th hole, and the view back downhill to the tee. The 12th hole is another tight pine planting hole. It plays gradually downhill, and it's kind of a double dogleg. It bends slightly to the right here at first, and then we're going to bend more sharply to the left up here just ahead. I never told you where we're at. We're at Warriors Path State Park. We're in Kingsport, Tennessee, and therefore we're in the eastern tip of Tennessee. This park has two 18-hole courses. This is the back nine of the Cliffside Course. The other course is the Lakefront Course. I also captured some video over there, and I'll show you that video in a couple of weeks. In general, the Cliffside Course is more heavily wooded, but also a little flatter than the Lakefront Course. There's the view back to the tee from behind the 12th basket. Hole number 13 is pretty flat, but it's another super tight pine planting hole. I really like both of the courses at this park. I maybe like this course a little more than the Lakefront Course because I like heavily wooded courses, and that's the type of course this is. That said, if this course does have a weak stretch, it's probably this stretch of pine planting holes. They're a little too much poke and pray. You just throw your disc and hope you get a good ricochet off of a tree. This hole does open up a little bit when you get up here near the basket, but still this is probably the tightest hole on this course. There's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The 14th hole is not quite as tight as the previous few holes, but there are still plenty of trees to deal with. This hole is also a gradual dogleg right, and it also plays slightly uphill. So given the trees and the distance in the uphill, this is a really tough hole for a par 3. I captured this video on Tuesday, October the 31st, and it was a chilly morning with temperatures in the upper 40s when I came here. I only saw two other groups of people playing the course, but I did find a couple of people just walking around through the woods. There aren't any official trails that would really cause safety problems on this course, but people do wander over here occasionally. The next two holes are the two most downhill holes on this course. This hole plays downhill through a tightly wooded area. There is a smattering of red cedar trees up here, but there's some decent width lines that you could use to get through them. Behind this basket, you'll see an open grassy area, and I call your attention to that because in that grassy area, there are some yellow baskets. Those are for the Lakefront Course. The white baskets are for this course, the Cliffside Course. The yellow baskets are for the Lakefront Course. I mention that because the only place where the two course routes overlap is right here. So if you want to play all 36 holes, and I highly recommend you do that, the easiest way to do that is to play the first 15 holes on this course, then go over and start with hole number 4 and play all 18 holes on the Lakefront Course, then come back and play the last 3 holes on this course. And if you do that, you'll have a fantastic full day of disc golf. The 16th hole plays sharply downhill, and it's a dogleg right with a fairly wide fairway. There is some dense woods behind the basket here, so you do have to compensate for the hill. You do not want to overthrow the basket on this hole. There's the view back uphill to the tee. The 17th hole is the most open hole on the back nine. There is some dense woods off to the left, so you don't want to throw your disc over there. Off to the right is the 8th hole, which we saw on the front nine. Now this hole does have two baskets. We're actually going to walk to the short basket, partly because there just isn't a lot of interesting things to see because this hole is so open. Also, the 18th tee is just to the left of the short basket. This is a short basket you see coming up here on the left. The long basket is further down the open area and off to the right. The 18th hole and final hole on the Cliffside Course is a long par 4. It's somewhat tight, it has a fairly low ceiling, it's a gradual dogleg to the right, and it plays slightly uphill. And honestly, this is a real bear of a finishing hole. This is easily the hardest hole on this course. If you come to this hole needing a good score, a birdie to post a good score, it's going to be tough on this hole. It's a good hole, but it's a tough one. I do want to thank you for watching this video. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I heartily thank you every day. Also, as a reminder, I do not make any monetary compensation for anything that I do for this project, and therefore all I get for writing these disc golf reviews and putting together these videos are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments, and I do appreciate all of those things. I really like both of the courses at this park. I probably like this course a little bit better than the lakefront course, partly because I just like heavily wooded courses. Also, this course feels more balanced to me. It doesn't have the mixture of really strong and really weak holes that the lakefront course does. There's the view back down the fairway from behind the basket. That is the end of the course. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.